how bad is it really in the CPO market? Like, do people understand that a lot of the biggest names in electric vehicle charging are on the brink of going out of business?
So just in the last week, we've seen EVBox and Enel X leaving the US market. Over the last year, we've seen companies from Chargepoint down being cut, the stocks being cut by over 90%. And we've seen so many failures of fast charger manufacturers, Tritium, Freewire, and so on. So what's wrong with this business? I think what's really going on here is a real reckoning. The business model behind the market is really flawed. When these companies were started, the assumption was that this is the new oil and gas, and you're going to make a lot of money at the pump. And what you want is a lot of pumps in a lot of places. But EVs are so different from ICE vehicles, from gas vehicles. With EVs, first of all, 8% of the charging is happening at home or at the workplace. It's not happening along the road. If I know that I can fill at home for 15 cents a kilowatt hour, or even California, 30 cents a kilowatt hour, I'm not going to spend 60 cents a kilowatt hour if I can help it. So if I'm going to LA to meet my aunt, then yeah, I'll pay the markup. But I'm going to do that very rarely. Most of the time, I'll just charge at home. And so you have very few opportunities to actually get a good margin when your model is you're selling electricity.
The commodity you're selling is really cheap. I mean, you're reselling electricity, which is a tenth the price of gas, a 20th the price of gas. So, like, right off the bat, if you're selling the same amount of value, which is a driving 200 miles, you're making way less.
If you're selling convenience, or if you're enabling a trip, then you can make money. If the only way to get to LA is to stop on the way and to fast charge somewhere, then yeah, I'll pay you the extra 20, 30, $50, and those charges can be profitable. If this is what enables me to electrify my fleet and replace gas cars, which cost me $1,000 to fuel up every month, because that's how much I'm driving them, yeah, I'll pay you $500 a month for equipment that costs you maybe $100 a month, and you can make money because I'm saving $500. But for consumers, forget it. If it's not going to be cost effective, I'm not getting it. And if it is going to be cost effective, there's very little margin for you. So it's really hard to be a CPO whose business model is selling kilowatt hours, whatever you do.
Selling
And
electricity is just not actually a great business. And that
no,
sounds like the fundamental thing we were saying. Like, people are trying to resell electricity. That's a losing proposition almost in all cases.
if the CPO can't make money, they can sell them equipment and charge for it, no pun intended. So it's a losing proposition. And this market will work only in the places where the business model is detached from the energy and you're really paying for convenience or for enablement.
So it's like, from right out the bat, if you had the choice between one or the other, and you were just an agnostic investor, you'd rather put money into building a gas station or a travel plaza versus building out a very complex and expensive DC fast charging station, right? So it's like, it's just a tough situation all around to get this charging network out there.
So as you know, my perspective on this is that there is a huge opportunity in hospitality for people who have to charge on the highway because they're going to stay so much longer than the people who are, stopping for gas on the highway. But it has to be totally different. Because if I'm popping into the 7-Eleven at the gas station on my way to LA, I'll be there for 3 minutes and I'll buy some snack and I'll move along. But if I'm going to spend half an hour there because I need to charge, and that's fast charging for you, I want a nice place and I will pay a lot of money because I don't do that very often and I want that convenience. Just like I want the convenience when I go to the airport and I have to wait half an hour for my flight. So I actually think the hospitality side of the business is where money will be made for that business model. So for the retail business model, it's about get people into your facility or your business that actually makes money, whether it's that stop on the highway, whether it's your mall. Give me a Safeway next to a fast charger, and I'll show you a Safeway that just increased its revenue by 10%. Give me a fast charger, next to your coffee shop, and I'll show you how your coffee shop sales have gone up 20, 30% a month. That's a good use for charging. Slow charging, that's good for my office building where I'm dwelling all day. It's good for my residential parking where I'm spending all night, but it doesn't move the needle for an EV driver to have a slow charger at the mall. Yeah, it'll be used, but okay, you will make 50 cents on selling me 5 kilowatt hours because I was at the mall for an hour, and you could mark it up by 10 cents. I would argue it's not worth the effort.